So the case is simple enough. It's a disinvestment case, and your client, let us say, is Government of India, and they want to figure out that they want to disinvest their ownership in a PSU, and they have asked for your suggestion and your help on how do you go about this. Okay. So let's see how we will go about solving a problem like this. Now, in a problem like this, it's even more important to actually take a step back up front and try to think of issues as broadly as possible. So then the question becomes, how do we really come up with broad issues? Okay. Two strategies here. Okay. Take analogy of something, and one tool or trick or whatever heuristic I use is 5W plus 1H. So analogy could be, let us say I want to sell something. What are the things I'll be worried about? Or you could simply just go into 5W1H. So I hope you know what is it. So what, why, where, when, how, who. I think these are the 5W1H. But either way, asking these questions up, these can be a very good mental models for you to know the kind of questions that have to be asked upfront. You would probably want to do some prioritization, but that is definitely something we can do. So let's say when we have this question, I would want to perhaps, maybe it's a why question, maybe it's a what question. Why does the government want to do this? By when do they want to do this? So why does the government want to do this? Maybe it's monetary, maybe it's operational, maybe it's forced. That, let's say when 1991, when we had a crisis, the government was forced to adopt more liberal policies. So you would want to understand what or why the government is trying to do something like this. Okay. That would be my starting point. Now, second aspect would be that, let's say the answer is that they want to do this because they want to raise funds. The government is running a deficit and they want to figure out money, they want to raise money through the method of disinvestment. Okay. So monetary, but then the immediate question that comes in, then what is the target? How much money does the government want to raise? Let's say it's INR 20,000 crores. That's the target. So now already I have more clarity on the problem. The government wants to raise 20,000 crores. That's the problem statement. Now, a critical question is, how do they want to do this? How could encompass a lot of process-based question? Okay. So it could be how much, how to execute. Okay. So I would basically want to understand, how much does the government want, or how many organizations do they want? Do they want to disinvest 20,000 crores? Do they want to raise 20,000 crores through one disinvestment or multiple disinvestment? Or do they have some parameters that, okay, I can only disinvest to a certain extent. I don't want to lose my ownership over the company, which means that, I cannot lose majority stake. Or typical number that government is that I want to dilute to the maximum extent of 26%. Okay. This could be perhaps something else also. These are numbers, these are priorities that the interviewer will provide you with. Okay. So you may or may not be given these questions upfront. But if you are given these questions upfront, then you will basically start with whatever is that you don't know. Okay. So you ask these questions. Now, a critical thing to see would be, I've already asked a few questions. Do I want to just jump and solve this problem? Or how do I go about this? So it's a call to be taken whether you want to solve this right now or later. I would typically feel that, I have enough information at this point of time. Maybe I can just not solve the problem right here, take a step back, I have enough information, and probably start structuring. Or you might want to ask a few more questions. Let's say we ask a few more questions. By when does the government want to do it? Because this question becomes important because I've already said the government is running a deficit. So clearly they might have a less than 12-month deadline before you have a next budget. Let's say the government says 3 months. If you see now remember I mentioned that inference drawing is a very important aspect. This timeline gives us a very interesting idea of what the inferences can be. That this could not be a strategic sector because it will take a hell lot of more amount of time for the government to let go of its holdings here. So I am probably looking at a sector which is much simpler to disinvest in. Maybe a consumer space that the government is in. Now, who do I want to sell it to? Does the government have a target in mind? And where would essentially be slated to how to execute, or who or the where could go hand in hand, or you could ignore that question for now. Okay. But I hope you appreciate that this 5W and 1H will give you an excellent starting point in trying to understand what are the questions you ask. And from those answers, there are certain inferences that you can draw. So now I have enough idea the government wants to raise 20,000 crores. It does not want to lose ownership in a lot of companies, in the organization that it is trying to disinvest in, and it wants to do it very, very quickly. Okay, and that would mean that it cannot go into the strategic sector, and you would typically want to minimize the effort it takes to do this process. Now you would really, as a consultant, now in an interview setting, at this point of time, the problem is slightly difficult to solve because while you've asked a lot of interesting questions, how do you go about the process? The process is very clear that on the basis of parameters you have covered, you would have a list of companies. You would have parameters which will shorten the list further. You might have some more parameters which will finally give you a much shorter list, hopefully 1 to let's say 5 names that will allow you, that are the targets that you're looking for. So you could, now the objective really becomes to figure out a starting point. And you could now at this point of time have a qualitative discussion that, one of the parameter that the government, so clearly if you try to disinvest, there's going to be a lot of problems. So you would ideally want to figure out targets which are low hanging fruits. So you might want to draw out a list of companies which are in debt. That could be a one starting point. Those could be easy to sell. Or you could figure out another way you could do this is, what are we talking about here? We want to, let's say, sell 26% to raise 20,000 crores. So roughly I'm talking about a company with a market, if let's say I was to do it through one company, I'm talking about a company which has a market cap of 80,000 crores, right? Even if I do 2 or 3 companies, I am doing it basically in industry with companies which are 20, 30,000 crore market cap. That's the kind of companies I am dealing with. If someone has to buy them, then those industries themselves have to be very big, because you need to have like a couple of players of that size for you to contemplate sale. So for them to appear fair. So one could be debt-based company. The second is I work backwards and I say that clearly there are certain industries only where I can sell. And these industries typically would have 2 to 3, 4 big players of, let us say, 50K magnitude of market capitalization. All of these are in crores. So this would be the approach, let us say the industry approach that I would take. Now again, at this point of time, there are no right answers, no wrong answers. A lot of the problem solving initially is about looking at a data set, in this case a whole universe of companies, and trying to have a hypothesis of what will give me the best answer. But the fact about, or the thing about hypothesis is that they're not always correct. They might not always give you the best answer. So from an interview perspective, what you can do is tell them 2 or 3 smart ways. So I will call them, if not perfect, I'll call them smart ways to do. That makes sense because these companies will be making the news, that as it is a burden on the government, you might get rid of them and become more efficient. Industry makes more sense from the selling aspect of it. Okay, are there buyers actually for it? Okay, so you give like 2 or 3 ideas, and at this point of time, in a case like this, the interviewer has to give you a little more information. So let's say now the interviewer gives you a list of 5 companies. Okay, sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and asks you which of these companies would you select to disinvest. So now the problem is to come up with a bunch of parameters to come up with finally one. Now, how do you go about breaking a problem like this? It's always a little difficult. One way is to go back to your previous set of things and use these as parameters. So one clear thing would be, do they meet my monetary target or not? Do I meet my timeline or not? Okay, that could be one. Now the next thing would be that I can now generate parameters on the basis of, so again, I am selling something. So whether the buyer finds them beneficial or not, that's not my concern. So if you've heard about mergers and acquisition, you heard words like synergy and all, that will not be my concern as a seller at this point of time, especially when I'm the government. So target timeline, I have to come up with more parameters. What I can do is I can translate risks into the relevant parameters to consider, and companies which have the least amount of risk involved in this disinvestment are the ones I will favor when it comes to disinvesting. That's one way I typically generate parameters when I'm talking about things. So money, time, and then what are the risks and which is the least risky option. So one cool framework is the PESTEL framework. So P stands for political admin, E stands for economic, S stands for socio-cultural, T stands for tech, L stands for legal, E stands for environmental. So I can use these bunch of 6 parameters to now define what are the parameters I will be considering. So one would be political backlash. Political and backlash, call it backlash, what is the political administrative ease? Now again, there is no way of you to judge this without going into the company's history. So all of these parameters will translate into an actionable only with the discussion with the interviewer. So you might want to, the interviewer might ask you what the parameters you would want to consider. So well, I would like to see which sector they are in, what is the ownership structure like, has there been a history of any corruption allegation in this PSU? How big, how small? So all of these things could be a part of political administrative risk that I'm trying to mitigate. So organization with the least amount of risk is one where I'll go. Economic factors. So the selling point per se has been covered here, but economy has more to it. Economy could be, well, will selling this cause some amount of employment loss? So you could cover that under either economic parameter or socio-cultural parameter. You could ask whether some proprietary technology will be lost if I actually sell this company to the other party. What could be legal? Are there legal challenges that I foresee? So legal challenges could come from employees. Legal challenges could also be that this could be seen as creating of a monopoly. Am I trying to prevent that from happening? Environmental. I can't think of environmental in this case, but maybe with the specific industry, there might be environmental parameters that you can bring in also. So the whole idea is that at this point of time, because you do not have the benefit of, you will never, and you might have realized that when disinvestment happens, opinions differ. Experts talk about different things differently, they view different things differently. So you can never have like a final yes or no answer that, oh, this was the best disinvestment decision, this was not the best disinvestment decision. What you need to have essentially is some strategy and some explanation for that strategy. So that's it for this case. Again, and at this point of time, a lot of these unconventional cases will fall down to discussions with the interviewer and trying to figure out what works best and what does not. Okay. The main idea with this case was to tell you how to use 5W1H to get more questions, because a lot of people have problems starting an unconventional or a development sector case. That helps. Second is to introduce you to the PESTEL framework, which is a risk framework, which can be a very useful filtering tool when you're looking at any recommendation or any list that you have to evaluate. Okay. So I hope this case, by incomplete now, we are only spending certain time on this. In an interview, an interviewer will guide you more clearly, and you will have probably a lot more time to deep take one thing and solve for that. But I hope this gives you an idea of how you will lay out your tools and move ahead. Okay. So this closes this case.